Hey guys, Bearded Viking Gamer here. Today I have an awesome video for you. I'm going to share with you guys my favorite system of all time, my collections video for it. This is the Super Nintendo. Man, when this thing came out, it changed everything for me. I loved the Nintendo and the Atari and stuff back then, but when the Super Nintendo came out, it was a huge jump from the way the games looked. I mean, it was huge. It was so big when you saw this thing. I mean, I remember getting it. I'll show you guys here. This is my brother and I opening up the Super Nintendo on Christmas. And, of course, there I am missing my teeth and everything there. But there's Sim City. I mean, that was a launch title on it. And I mean, geez, man, these games were crazy. Of course, Super Mario World was with it. But that changed it. And these games were amazing. So now later in life, they bring a Super Nintendo Mini on here, a Super Nintendo Classic Edition, and it has a lot of fantastic games on here. So in the collection I'm going to show for you here is I have almost all those on physical cartridges. There's some great games out here. Obviously there's hundreds more. I don't even know how many are sitting here, but there's easily over 100 games here. Some are boxed, some are loose. Like I say, I pick things up on the cheap, so when I see something that I don't have, for sure, I'm going to try to get it if I can get it cheap. But there's some great stuff here, guys, so stay tuned and let me show you guys what we got here for the Super Nintendo. This is my Super Nintendo collections video. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so up first here we got some of the box. I'm going to do the boxed items first and then I'm going to go with the loose cartridges. First boxed item here is Chester Cheetah, the Wild Quest. You guys remember this stuff from the 90s. Look at that. I'm telling you, the 16-bit era, it was a huge jump from that 8-bit stuff. Here's the next one here. This is Miss Pac-Man. Awesome game. One of my favorites on the Pac-Man series for sure. Next one here is The Lord of the Rings. This was a cool game. No, I remember renting that stuff back in the day. This one is awesome. Wife got me this for the birthday last year. This was ActRaiser 2. Complete in box. Here's one my brother and I used to play the heck out of. I love those old dungeon crawlers. This is Dungeon Master. Man. I remember getting these guys, the little slicers, getting slicer chunks. These ones are incredible. The music still to this day is some of the best music in video games. This is Donkey Kong Country. Incredible game, man. The music on that is something else. And with Donkey Kong Country, we had Donkey Kong Country 2. Incredible game. And then with the rest of those, you have the final one, Donkey Kong Country 3. Just fantastic music in those. And we got a couple more here. We have Choplifter 3. This is Super Chase HQ. Really fun racing game here. We are Castlevania Dracula X. Excellent game, man. It's really fun.
And this one is some of my favorite on the Nintendo, and this is all three of them in one. This is Ninja Gaiden Trilogy. It has all three games. And what's cool about this is it's improved graphics slightly, the enhanced sound, but you have a password now for each of your stages, which you didn't have those in the original Nintendo games. So here we go. We have Super Mario Kart. Excellent. Started it all off right here. Awesome game. Alright, now we're going to move on to some little accessories. You guys might remember. This is the Game Genie. You put your cartridge right on the top there and power it on right here. And yeah, you put your codes in. And this is what I still use today. I still use this a bunch. This is the Super Game Boy. So this will let you play your Game Boy games in the Super Nintendo, so you can actually have it on the TV screen. And here's my copy of Loose Now. This is Dracula X. This game is incredible. This is a must-have for the system. This is Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Now this is a hack, but this is 55 more levels, and this is Oh No, More Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Awesome games here. Same gameplay mechanics and everything. Here's the newest one that I got at the expo here, and this is Zombies Ate My Neighbors Doomsday. And this one I haven't seen yet. I mean, I've played it now, but I haven't seen it out there yet to pick up. Just a buddy of mine told me about it, that he was hoping I would come to the expo, and he's the one that hooked me up with that. This one's cool. You don't see these anymore. This is Doom for the Super Nintendo, red cartridge, but this one was a Blockbuster rental. And sad to say that place isn't around anymore, but that's how we used to rent all those. Alright, and here's one from the arcades. This is Pit Fighter. Man, the arcade, I used to put some quarters in there. And here's another one here. This one's Cutthroat Island. Get some swashbuckling going on. This one here, this is one of my personal favorites when I was a kid. This is Evo, and you transform as you get more experience points. So it's kind of an RPG slash side scroller. It's kind of weird, platformer. Kind of weird, but it's very good. This is Final Fight 2. I love the beat 'em ups, guys. Every system has them. And this, I loved them here on the Super Nintendo. I think the Genesis honestly had some better beat 'em ups. I love the Streets of Rage and things, but the Super Nintendo here, you can't go wrong with these. I mean, here's another one here, Rival Turf. Man, just look at those 90s kids right there, just looking hardcore. Alright, here we are. Mario's Time Machine. Not the greatest Mario game, but if you're gonna have your kids learn some stuff on there, there's some learning there. Here we are, Gradius 3. Excellent shooter. A lot of fun there. This is a loose copy Dungeon Master. Like I said, my brother and I used to play the heck out of these. Wish they made modern games with those dungeon looks like that. Here's Disney's Goof Troop. An awesome game here. A lot of these Disney games, believe it or not, were so fun on the Super Nintendo. This one is Warlock. That was a thrift pickup. Here's one here. This is Battleship. This is another must-have, guys. If you don't have the Super Nintendo, this is a must-have, and you do get it. This is Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Excellent game. Here we go. This is Beavis and Butthead. Label's kind of jacked up, but Game still works perfectly fine. And here we go. Wonders of Ease 3. This is my favorite Castlevania on all of the Castlevanias. Some people like the other ones, Symphony of the Night and others. But Castlevania 4 for me was my all-time favorite. This game was just perfect. Must have on that system for sure. This game is awesome as well. This is Demon's Crest. You guys see this out there? Try to pick this one up. It's going up in price too. Here's another RPG, guys. This one is Brain Lord. And this is actually a fun RPG. You just don't see it a lot. Here's a loose copy of ActRaiser 2. Here's another for these racer fans out there. F-Zero. Really nice there. That F-Zero is pretty cool. Here's one of the great RPGs. Here's Final Fantasy 3. Here's an excellent beat 'em up. This is King of Dragons. You guys see this out there in the wild for sure. Try to pick that up. Here's an RPG here, guys. This is one of my favorites even when I was a kid there. Is Illusion of Gaia. This game is incredible actually, and it's always super cheap for some reason. I don't know if it's gonna jump up, but get that one. That's a fun RPG. Here's a good shooter here. This is Darius Twin. I love those side-scrolling shooters or shmups or whatever you want to call them. They're always a lot of fun, and they're good for when you got friends over too. You just hand off the controller when you die. Here is Final Fantasy 2. Another awesome Final Fantasy. And those freaking baby dolls in the end, towards the end of that, is rough. Still rough to fight. This is Raiden Trad. Another side-scrolling shooter. Here is yet another side-scrolling shooter. This is Thunder Spirits. Here's Choplifter 3. Here's one that doesn't really get a whole lot of talk about, but it was Lagoon. I actually thoroughly enjoyed Lagoon. I like that one a lot. RPG. Here's one that was in the arcades, guys, and they brought it to the Super Nintendo. I don't know if you guys remember playing this in the arcades back then, but this was Super Smash TV. And you're on a game show, and you're just unloading on things and killing as much stuff that they throw at you. A lot of fun. Here's another must pick up for the system if you do get one, is a Super Mario All-Stars. It has all the good Mario games in it, and the Lost Levels, I do believe. This was an awesome platformer here, or actually it was the first take on it for me. I've actually bought it on the Switch now, and they've remastered the Switch version of it, but this is Flashback, Quest for Identity. This game was amazing. Here's another one here. This is Prince of Persia. A very hard game on the system. I have a hard time with some of the time-based stuff on here because you end up pushing the controls the wrong direction and you're dead. All you comic book fans out there, here's Spawn. Spawn the video game. Alright, here's Super Mario Kart. This is the million seller sticker on it. And I do have the regular one as well. Here's an awesome one from downtown. This is NBA Jam. Such a fun basketball game on here. Gosh, the computer sometimes would just rob you right at the end and just piss you off the whole game. Here is Battletoads and Double Dragon. Two awesome series collaborating in there. Pretty cool. Awesome beat 'em up. This one is sometimes goes under the radar, but you guys should pick this up if you see it. Blackthorn. Excellent game. So awesome. Very cool platformer. Now for those sci-fi people, the flying around, this is Wing Commander, but this is the Secret Missions, and I don't really normally see this one on a cartridge a lot. I always see the Wing Commander. But this is the Secret Missions. This is an add-on for it. Here we are, NCAA basketball. Some sports titles here. This is Troy Aikman football. This is an awesome beat 'em up, guys. Awesome beat 'em up here. This is Knights of the Round. You guys see this? Try to pick this one up. This one is going up in price though. Here is Super R-Type, another awesome side-scrolling shooter. This blew me away when it first came out. This is Out of This World. That opening intro where he comes cruising up and with his car, and he's a scientist, and he opens it up. It's just amazing, the cutscene on there. It's too bad that this cover is beat up, but this is Super Double Dragon. My copy is actually very beat up, but I've had it for a long time, and it was cheap. Excellent beat 'em up. Of course, this came packed in with every system, but now they seem to be selling them for a lot more, and it's Super Mario World. This game is incredible. This is for sure have this one. And in the picture of me and my brother opening up Christmas here is Sim City. This was one of the first games we got. My buddy Sean here, just for my birthday, just bought me this one. This was Chrono Trigger. Awesome RPG. I think it's one of the best RPGs that's out there, even on the system for sure. This is Double Dragon: The Shadow Falls. And this is not the typical Double Dragon that I would recommend to anybody, but this caught me off guard. Not the greatest. Here is Super Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. These games are rough, very hard. Here is Urban Strike. This is those helicopter top-down, like choplifter type games. The number one game on the system is Super Caesar's Palace. Totally kidding. This game, is your typical casino game. Here's a side-scrolling shooter that the cover, man, you just missed this. This is Phalanx, and the cover just does not do justice. It has an old man playing a banjo, but you see the spacecraft flying across the top there. Totally does not do justice. This is a lot of fun here. This is Super Buster Bros. I don't know if you guys remember any of the bubble poppers and stuff back then, but this was awesome. You're shooting basically up in the air, and every time you bust a bubble, it breaks off into more bubbles, and you have to dodge those. Here is a must-have on the system. This is Super Metroid. This game is amazing. Alright, here we are. We have Rock and Roll Racing. Some good music in here, guys. It's a cool racer. This is kind of like RC Pro-Am style. Really played that. Here's another side-scrolling shooter. This is Supernova. Love those shmups, guys. Super Baseball Simulator 1.0. Some of these sports titles that I pick up, because they're sometimes some of these are even free to me at the pawn shop, but the backs on them are excellent. So if you're ever you have a nice game that you want to complete in there, you can always swap a back out on them with the sports titles, because normally the sports titles are very good, like clean. This is Donkey Kong Country here. Awesome. And again, here's Donkey Kong Country 2. Music just fantastic. Donkey Kong Country 3. This one is a hard one. This is Batman Forever. It's just, I don't know if it's the controls or I don't know what it is, but this one's very hard. Another Disney one here, guys. This is The Jungle Book. Here's an RPG I picked up in Oregon a couple years back. It's the when I was doing game hunting up there a couple years ago. And this was Secrets of Evermore. This is an RPG. You just don't see this down here anymore, hardly anymore. This is Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Here's Super Mario Kart without that million seller sticker. This was one of the first Mario Karts. All you Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle lovers, here's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. This is like a Street Fighter, but with your turtles. The Lord of the Rings, Volume 1. Here's another Star Wars title. This is Star Wars The Emperor Strikes Back. I'm sorry, The Empire Strikes Back. Here's a Chester Cheetah, The Wild Wild Quest. Here is Super Chase HQ. This one, not the greatest game, but it's Tasmania. It's got Taz in there from the shows. This was one of my favorites here. I would recommend this to anybody who's going to jump into the system. This is Shadowrun. This is going up in price. Super Black Bass Fishing. Here is Wing Commander. Now this is the one you see everywhere. You don't see that Secret Missions one hardly, but Wing Commander is an excellent game. A lot of fun. This is The Great Circus Mystery. This is Mickey Mouse. And it is produced by Capcom. This is actually a lot of fun. Capcom puts out a lot of good titles, guys. You notice that on here. You've seen a lot of these Capcom titles. This is Super Mario RPG, The Legend of the Seven Stars. Awesome game. This one's one of my favorites here. This is King Arthur's World. And this is like Lemmings, if you guys have ever played Lemmings, where you're trying to get your characters from the right side of the screen to the left side of the screen, and there's a whole bunch of obstacles in the way, and you got to have them stop and do different things just to get there. Either pull archers out or something. This is Jim Power, The Lost Dimensions in 3D. Awesome RPG here, guys. This is Secret of Mana. Very, very good game there. On to another beat 'em up. This is the first Final Fight. Awesome games. I just love these beat 'em ups. Here's a must-have on the system. This is Contra 3, The Alien Wars. Here is Mario The Early Years Preschool Fun. This is when Nintendo was bringing out to teach some kids preschool stuff. And there's a couple other ones on there. But yeah, what a weird concept, right? For any of these games here. Here's Mario Paint. As you saw before, I had Urban Strike. This one is Desert Strike. This is the same game, only you're in the desert here. One of my all-time favorites right here is ActRaiser. I have a lot of good memories on this one. Music on it's incredible. Very cool. This is the very first ActRaiser. Here we go, guys. The Legend of the Mystical Ninja. Who remembers this game? A very fun one, too. Alright, guys. Here we go. The kids love this one. This is Home Alone. Here's another one on here. Jurassic Park. Here is Disney's Aladdin. Now, the Sega Genesis version is better for this game. Even though this one's fun, he throws apples in this one because Nintendo wanted to keep some of the violence and stuff out of there, where the other one you have, on the Sega Genesis, you do use a sword, which is awesome. But Aladdin throws apples in this one, so it does make it a difference. But yeah, it's still fun, nonetheless. Miss Pac-Man, one of the best Pac-Mans that's out there, still to this day. Here is Joe and Mac. This is a platformer. You're cavemen, and you're trying to get the girls back. Here is Super Punch-Out. Very fun game. I always loved the Punch-Out on the original Nintendo. And this one is totally a beat-up cover, but this is Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. Cover is just toast, but gosh, man, I love this game. It's a must-have on that system for sure. Here's another one here. This is Sunset Riders. This one is jumping up in price as well, guys. So if you see this out there, grab it. This one I got super cheap. And you can tell the color discoloration on it. The system has been sitting in somebody's console while it was staged and stored away for years. This is Paperboy 2. Here's a must-have on the system. This is Street Fighter 2. Awesome beat 'em up. Or I'm not sorry, not beat 'em up, but fighter. Here's another dungeon. This is Eye of the Beholder. Can't have a Super Nintendo collection without the NHL 95. Gotta have that. Alright, now we're on to X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Another Capcom title there, guys. This is a good RPG. This one's going up in price too. This is Soul Blazer for the Super Nintendo. Here's like Sim City. This one is Sim Ant. You're actually ants building your colony and trying to work your way into the guy's house to make him move out. Basically, this game was pretty cool. And here is Super Star Wars. These games are incredibly hard. Here is Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Here's one not a lot of people talk about. This is Uniracers, and this is a on-track racing, I would say. A lot of fun. Very, very cool idea. Here is Star Fox. That started it all right there. That opening song coming in there. Here is Gods. Here's Tiny Toons Buster Busts Loose. Alright guys, here is a must-own. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. This one has gone up in price as well. But gosh, an excellent fighting. You beat 'em up. Here's yet a must-own. This is probably my favorite Zelda. Breath of the Wild is right there, but Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for me is just, the memories on it are just too good. Awesome Zelda game. MLBPA Baseball. Gotta have it. Alright guys, here is Madden 95. Here is a must-own. This is Mega Man X. These games were awesome. Any of the Mega Man games, this one started jumping the graphics up. Here's a very good but very hard Super Nintendo game. This is The Lion King. You get all that music in it too, but man, it is rough and it's very hard to play. Very difficult game. And there's one that was awesome as well. This was Pilot Wings. Give this one a whirl if you see it out there. Alright guys, down to the last couple ones here. This is Captain America and the Avengers. And down to my last one here. This is awesome beat 'em up. The Batman Forever isn't the greatest, but this Batman Returns for sure. If you see this, pick this one up. This is a really good beat 'em up for a Batman game. A lot of fun there.
All right, guys. That's my Super Nintendo collection here. A lot of amazing games on there. If you do have some of these, leave them in a comment below. Let me know which ones you guys liked out of all of these. There's obviously there's more that I need to get. You know, there's lots of titles out there. So leave a comment below of certain ones that you'd like to see me try to get, or if there's certain ones that you have played and you're like, you gotta play this. Love to hear from you guys. But yeah, that's what I got this week here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the collection video, and I'll see you guys next week.